Hi there everyone, I'm Zan from Felon Fair, and today's video is on medieval and fantasy tunics. Now this is a really key one because your tunic is one of the centerpieces of any medieval or fantasy costume. So hang in there, it's going to be a little longer, but hopefully we'll get you some really good information and to help you choose the right design and that sort of stuff for your medieval or fantasy tunic. If you find this video helpful, please do like it. Please give us your comments down in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your suggestions, that sort of stuff. And then please do subscribe to the channel. That way you can get notifications whenever we have a new video, and it helps us make more of these videos. All right, now, when we're talking about medieval tunics, they were the height of fashion 3,000 years ago, and they're not dresses. So it's important that you know the difference and you know what they are and why. One thing that always frustrates me is I see either, a lot of times even Hollywood movies, but medieval Ren fairs and this sort of stuff, and people running around with pirate shirts and all this sort of stuff, and they think that's a tunic, and it's not. A tunic is its own thing, so it's important to know what it is and how to choose the right one, because that really impacts your look. Tunics and cloaks, in my opinion, are the two things that are the most important garments or aspects of any medieval or fantasy costume. So if you're going to put some money in, if you're going to choose the right one, then this is where I would invest your money. This is where I would invest your energy. Now, when you're looking at tunics, there's a couple things, considerations that you're going to want. First of all, you have design, right? You want to make sure that it achieves the look or the feel of whatever project you're working on. So you want to make sure that if you're going for a Viking look, if you're going for a fantasy look or whatever, that you're going to actually achieve that look. Another one is materials. You're going to want to make sure that it's made out of a material that looks proper for your context. So, whether that is, temperature or, whether access the materials or the resources that the people would have had. Maybe they didn't have cotton or they had wool or whatever. So that's something you're going to want to think about. And then, of course, you're going to want to basically consider the actual function, what you're going to be doing in this tunic, right? So some tunics are better made than others. Some of them are made to endure fighting and wrestling and that sort of stuff. Other stuff, it's more like you can wear this when you're sitting in your castle, but otherwise I wouldn't be too rough on it. So just some things to consider. Now, this video, we're going to show you a bunch of different designs, a bunch of different things. We're going to try to have some links and some resources for you guys down in the description of this video. But do know that, I know this is the disclaimer that we put in all our videos, but first of all, we're not making any historical claims here. If you're trying to costume for a reenactment or something like that, go look at your specific time period, that sort of stuff. We're talking very general for costume designers for films and for stage and for LARPers and cosplayers and people going to Ren fairs and Viking weddings, which are very popular these days. We just are trying to give you some things to think about here. And then second is we own a medieval clothing company, right? So we sell tunics. So yes, we are trying to sell you on our tunics. Some of these other companies that we work with, they sell tunics. Some of these tunics they've given to us. So we try to be fair. We try to be authentic with our reviews, but do know that when you guys buy tunics, we do make money, which is great because that allows us to make more videos. It allows us to make more tunics. It allows us to create more content that hopefully helps you guys. So thank you for supporting us. A great way to support us is to go to felonfair.shop or find us on Etsy, buy some of our tunics. That helps us do more of this. So anyway, thank you in advance. Now when it comes to tunics, like we said, the first thing you're going to want to decide is the design. So for the most part, what you're going to find for tunics commercially available is your standard Viking style tunic. It's basically long sleeve, goes down to a little kind of mid thigh, and you wrap a belt around it, and there you go. So there's lots of options in this. This is what's going to be most commercially available. So we make one at Felon Fair. This is one in brown. You can see it's very simple, and it's pretty much just a it's just a shirt. Now a medieval tunic is basically the equivalent of a modern t-shirt, right? It's your basic undergarment. A lot of times you'll wear other stuff. So sometimes you don't need a whole lot of fancy coloring. In fact, a lot of times you want subtle tones. You want natural colors so that you can have more fancy other garments. But, you know, it is kind of the basis. It is the foundation of what you're wearing. This one right here from Epic Armoury is cotton. We've done a ton of weathering on it, so they obviously don't come like this. They've got this cool little two-tone thing going on here. The only downside that I have with these is sometimes the sleeves are a little short, and honestly, I wish they came in more colors because I'd use them a lot more, but they only come in like 2 or 3 different colors. So, but tan is one of my favorite colors. You guys will see that in these videos, and so I'm very happy that they come in tan. Burgschneider does the same thing. They've got a brushed cotton, so it's a slightly cooler texture to the material, but it's pretty much the same design. Nobody's reinventing the wheel here. The only downside with the same thing. Sleeves are sometimes short. I don't know if that's a European thing. Maybe you Europeans have shorter arms than us Americans. Maybe I'm just an aberration of human genetics. I don't know. But once again, they have a cool brushed cotton. These are great once you've washed them a ton. The material kind of gets rougher and the fabric fades a little bit. That's when I really, really like them. So we issue these to all the folks that come to our Weekend Warrior event. So I've literally bought hundreds and hundreds of these. So they're definitely a quality product. So that's your basic Viking style tunic. Now there's some other styles that I really, really like. I like a longer tunic. I like a longer style on pretty much anything I design. I like that. Burgschneider used to make a longer one, and this is that one of those longer ones. They also make some lighter under tunics and stuff. As they kind of come and go in availability, so you have to be on the lookout. We have our medieval tunic at Felon Fair that we make, and this is it. You can see it's long. It's got the rider slit right here in the middle, so you can still run and you can still ride and that sort of stuff. And you know, I really, really like that longer tunic design. Now, another thing that you'll see a lot out there, and we make a lot of them, is a short sleeve tunic. And we actually offer, if you want a short sleeve on any of our tunics, you just have to message us and we can turn it into short sleeve for you. One thing that I don't really like, I see a lot of people, this is just from a stylistic and historical perspective, I see a lot of people running around with just short sleeve tunics. I don't know why. I think it's like the equivalent of like a tank top sort of thing. People just want their guns out. I don't know. Or I actually see a lot of sleeveless tunics out there too, which if you're running around in the woods, like there's a reason everybody in the military, even in the desert, they're wearing long sleeves, right? Like it's protecting your arms from, you know, scrapes and bruises and cuts when you're wearing armor and in the woods and that sort of stuff. I highly recommend long sleeves. You know, roll them up if you need to, if you're hot and you're just sitting around. But I really do like short sleeve tunics, and Burgschneider makes a couple as well. I think Epic Armoury does as well. But I actually like them over long sleeve tunics. So it's a great two-tone double layer look that I really, really like. So this is one that we made for a film. This is awesome linen actually that we got from fabricstashstore.com. We don't sell this regularly because it's only one-sided, but it is really, really cool, cool fabric. So a short sleeve option. This is basically a Viking tunic in a short sleeve. So that's an option as well. But like I said, I really, really like the double layer thing. And this is great over a long tunic or over a short tunic. Some other style options that you have out there, you have kind of a split front. So this is it's called like a Viking caftan. It's one term for it, or a coat or anything like that. We make kind of a variant of it. I think Burgschneider makes a variant in wool as well. We make all ours out of linen. And so this is a great thing. We love it, once again, to layer it, short sleeve or long sleeve. I just really like the multi-layer. This is basically the equivalent of this, right? You got a tunic, t-shirt, caftan, sweater. I really like the two-tone thing, the multi-layered look. I think it really, really draws out a character. It helps create some cool depth, and it looks natural, right? Like, you know, who's running around in Norway with like a t-shirt on, right? I mean, I know that lots of you crazy people are, but you know, for the most part, if you're going out adventuring, if you're going, you know, you're going to take a coat with you, you're going to take a sweater, and so it actually makes a lot of sense to have kind of this multi-layered thing going on. Something else that you really want to think about when you're choosing tunics is the construction, right? So one thing, and I've made hundreds and hundreds of tunics, and this is something that we found out, is tunics tend to wear out in 3 places. One, they tend to wear out right here. So this is an old, I literally made this like 6 years ago. This is not how we make them. This was one I made for a film actually, but it has some good examples of wear, so I'm going to show you kind of what that is. So they wear out right here at the bottom of the neck. You can see, I think one of the Burgschneider ones I had was doing that. Yeah, it's starting to wear right there. Eventually, our Fell and Fair ones will wear. Remember that anytime you're using natural materials and trying to follow a historical pattern, stuff will wear out. So be patient with your manufacturer. They're doing their best to walk that line of creating a authentic looking piece while also creating something that's durable and sturdy. One thing that we found that has helped a lot is we actually changed the pattern of our tunics, because you see they get a lot of stress and wear right here on the shoulder and then at the armpit. I think this one's got a hole in the armpit. Yeah, on this side. So we actually changed the pattern of our tunic. So we altered the more medieval pattern just a little bit to remove a lot of the stress and reinforce the shoulders and under the armpit. So that's something that we really pay attention to. I'm sure all manufacturers have done different things to address that. But whenever I see tunics wearing out, it's usually right here at the shoulder, under the armpits, or right here. So this one is pretty much unavoidable, but you can definitely find ways to fix this one and the armpit as well. So those are things to think about. Another one, and this is probably one of the most important opinions, and it's one of the things that will really change the price in what you're doing. So we've shown you everything from really budget ones all the way up to really nice ones. And this is where I will make the plug for the linen tunics that we sell. The linen tunics, they have a thicker, more medieval-looking weave. They are some of the most comfortable things you'll ever wear. After a couple washes and a couple wears, they are just super soft and comfortable. They have great coloring, great, really natural coloring to them. And obviously, it was the type of material that most medieval garments were made out of. So that's why I'm a fan of linen over, say, cotton or wool even. I'll get on wool in a second, but that's why if you're going for a lighter sort of tunic, everything that we do, we're in the southeast of the United States, so it's always hot here. Even in the winter, it's hot. So we love lightweight things. They're not going to make us too hot, but are still going to have great texture. The other great thing about linen is it just falls really nicely because it's weighty. So it doesn't stick out really stiff. It doesn't crinkle up. It really just falls very nicely, which I just really, really love the look for that. So that's my plug for linen. Other things you'll find out there are cotton, and we sell some cotton products as well. And then you'll find wool. Wool is great, especially if you find a really great weave for it. I said Burgschneider offers a lot of their tunics in wool. The downside is it's really hot, so and it's itchy. So a lot of times you have to wear a linen or a cotton under the wool anyway, which often can make it even more hot. So if heat is an issue for you, then that's something to think about. On the other hand, if you are in Canada or if you are in Northern Europe, wool is good to go, because you definitely want something that's going to keep you warm and is going to keep you toasty through all those nights pillaging and ravaging France or whatever you're doing. So some other things to think about when you are choosing a tunic. Like I said, layering is really key. So make sure your colors complement each other and that sort of stuff. I really, really encourage people to get very base colors like this tan here, like brown, like gray. I really like the gray linen tunics that we do. Burgschneider has some cool wool gray ones. I really like those natural as well. One, the lighter ones weather up really well if you're doing any sort of weathering and that sort of stuff. The other thing is that if you are choosing those colors, it's much easier to kind of use them for a lot of different outfits. We have literally used this for knights, for rangers, for all sorts of stuff because it can go with any color really. Like it looks good with, blue, right? These colors complement each other really nicely. It looks good with a green wool cloak. It looks good with all sorts of different options. So I really like these very versatile colors. The other thing, and you can see it here, you can see it on some of the other cloaks that we've had, I really like to take a seam ripper and open up like the bottom hem down here. Now this one I haven't gone through and trimmed. I usually trim it. Open up I didn't do the sleeve ends here, the cuffs, but I really like doing that, like just showing a little bit of wear and tear to them, because that's often where you would see wear on a garment on those open hems. So I really like doing that. I think it adds a lot of nice texture and a lot of depth. I think I've got some of the sleeves here. You can see I've ripped those. I really, really like those. I think it just adds some cool texturing. Like I said, this is your basic, your fundamental garment. anytime you're building a medieval costume, your tunic is where you're going to start. So we'll provide a bunch of links for you guys. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. And, send us message us on Instagram, send us an email. Let us know if this helps you and what your costume looks like. We're always happy to provide suggestions. And, our goal is to give you guys the resource so you can create great costumes, whether that is for films or LARP or whatever. So, like I said, if you found this helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, check back weekly for more videos, and have a great day, guys.